Hello and welcome back to our little podcast here at France Bartolome, hosted by yours truly, France. We are on our seventh date of the New Year 2022, and I just want to greet all of you a happy New Year, and may we all have the peace and healthiness we all deserve in this new chapter of our lives. We are up to our 10th episode, and the last one I did was for the tips I could share to beginning writers. And if you still haven't heard of it, you could easily find it through our podcast list here. I know most of us at the start of the New Year experience and has been experiencing certain post-holiday flu sickness, and my wish for all of us is to get past ahead this health challenge through the new variant of COVID, Omicron, and through prayers we can get through all the sickness we're going through right now. To anyone listening that is not feeling in their homes, I wish you all to be well soon. Moving ahead with our episode today, I am going to answer 22 questions for the New Year 2022. Now, what I'm about to feature is just 5 questions, as these are the only ones I received when I posted about this on my day. These questions came from friends I have at work, from college, and online ones. Let's get started right away with our first question for today. From Eunice Gregancia of Aureliana University. Who are your inspirations while writing your characters for your novels? Uh, well, when I started writing, I actually don't start with an actual person as an inspiration in specifics. Most of the time, it happens to be just a certain thought, a line from a book I've read, or even my daily experiences, even how simple and little they can be. Now, if we're talking about characters, I just imagine how a character is by the way his name sounds. And I don't know, but by that, I get an idea on what they would sound like in the story, or how they would act like, or how would they look like. And that's usually the inspiration for the character. Just starting up with a name, either a random one from a friend or a name I just came across everywhere. It's really hard to explain, but I usually start with just names when writing characters for the novels I've written in the past. I believe the names defines the character. If a name doesn't sound right for me, then the character won't make much impact on me as the author. Thank you for that question, Eunice. Next question is from Jessime Condongo from Open Access. Question is, which novel or film would you relate yourself to and why? This is really a tough question because the moment I first read it, there's a lot of movies or novels that came to my mind. It was extremely hard to choose. But the more I think about it, I think I would choose Will Smith's movie, The Pursuit of Happiness, released back in 2006. The reason I relate much to the story of the film is because Will Smith's character had to really prove that he is deserving of that position in the financial company he has been working for as an intern. You know, the struggle of chasing your dream job, while trying to make a living and getting through everyday necessities is what made me in tune with the story. In the film, everyone around Will Smith tells him or shows him indirectly, right in his face, that he can't be better, that he can't be a good father to his son. All the more that he can't be hired as a salesman in that top financial firm because of the way he looks and the way he can only solve a Rubik's puzzle. But he chooses to look beyond that. He knows it within himself that he got the skill, it just needs a little push. Even though he's the only person who's willing to push him through that goal. I felt that, I identified myself to that when I had my first job as a web content writer when I graduated. It is my dream job. It is also my first job. So everyone in the past told me to settle with the most common job at the time, but I really made sure that I would have my dream job as my first job. And after all the interviews, writing exams, and several rejections, it happened. I made it happen. I got hired as a writer. Like Will Smith, it was not easy, and even though I'm not professionally writing now, looking back at it, I never regret that decision to go for something I really want for myself. As Will Smith says in the film, if you want something, you go get it. Alright, hi Jess, thank you for the question, and I hope to see you soon in the office. Next question is from Kinski Patriarcha of Aureliana University. Question is, how do you cope with anxiety in the midst of a pandemic? I try to get the hype of the pandemic out of my head by watching films, a lot of them. And though I would guiltily admit that I have not been doing some reading, I take watching movies as an alternative, along with playing instruments, writing some drafts now and there, and of course, to think ahead of the anxiety, I force myself to put in some positivity in me trying to be healthy. Kinski also added another question, which goes like this. As a writer or influencer, how do you persuade the readers or viewers to use social media as a platform to spread positivity, knowledgeable information, and etc.? First of all, Kins, I'm not an influencer. I'm a writer, so let me make that clear. I know there are people out there who are both, but I'm not there yet. And if I would envision myself as an influencer, I don't see it the way everyone is having it, if that makes sense. Anyway, I think using social media has to come with a certain sense of responsibility in terms of who's using it and how to use it. I believe social media is a combination of both positive and negative things nowadays. So as a user myself, I would then just suggest unfollowing certain pages and people who make you uncomfortable with your existence and your current situation. It's not being sensitive, it's not being out of everyone's league or being out of the news. It's about protecting your peace, your privacy, and your perspective. You have to protect your peace. It's the most underrated type of privilege you can give yourself. Thank you, Kins, for these wonderful questions. I hope to see you again soon. Alright, last question is from Joe M. Muscari of Celerity US. Question is, do you believe in destiny? Yes or no, and why? Alright, if we are going to go back in the past, maybe meet or find a 15 years old me at the time this question was asked, I'd most certainly say yes. I did believe in destiny, but as I grow up, I came to a conclusion that it was a no for me. I don't at the moment. Romantically speaking, I wouldn't have the answer to that right now. Maybe in the following years to follow, I would have one. But now, if we're seeing destiny in a general perspective, and also my current situation, my answer is no. But here's what I can say. I do believe that what is meant for you will find its way to you if you make it happen by doing the work to improve and open yourself to doors that will lead you to that destiny. And I thank you. Okay, thank you for these questions, Joem. You only have one question. And I wish you a happy new year. Alright, those are our 5 questions for today's episode. And thank you for all that sent their questions. I really appreciate it, guys. And before we say goodbye, I'd like to again remind you that you can stream my podcast episodes through certain listening pods such as Apple and Google Podcasts, Breaker, Overcast, Castbox, Radio Public, and most especially through Spotify. This podcast had been made possible by Anchor. Create your own podcast and share it with the world, all completely free. Download and install the Anchor app today to get started. Once again, thank you for everyone for listening, and I'll talk here once again on our next episode. Stay safe, everyone.